We're hardcore wrestling radio. In HWR, we may not drop a lot of pipe bombs, but we sure as hell drop a lot of F-bombs. So don't say you weren't warned. Hey everyone, I'm the Shining Star, Rick Starr, and welcome to another edition of Hardcore Wrestling Radio. We got a few of the guys here with me. First, he's the host of the WGS TV over at the Wrestle Gamer, Double B Bojo. Double B, welcome to the show.
It's hard to believe that games like Splinter Cell, Blacklist, and Rayman Legends are falling way below expectations of Ubisoft. What's going to happen next? Pokemon X and Y are going to sell 4 million copies? Oh, wait, that actually happened.
And then we have the incomparable Lance Moss from Lance Moss TV. Lance, welcome to the show.
This just in. Oreo cookies are as addictive as cocaine.
Well, just don't try to sniff them then. And then, of course, we have the Bay Area MVP, known as Will. Will, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Rick, and tough break for most people over there. And Miz, for what you said about the Saints, yeah, stick to wrestling, leave the football to the experts.
I kind of like what he said about the Pats. You know, I'm not a big football fan, but we'll get that out of the way. Hey, you know what? You never count the Pats out. That's all I got to say. Enough said.
Yeah, but did he have to rub margarine in the wound?
Well, it could have been salt. Well, you know, let's start off with the show. Usually we're beating on TNA, which is usually part of the course. So we're going to start off tonight. Let's beat upon on WWE for a little bit. P.S. Hayes, he got suspended. Apparently this was because Rosa Mendez comes back just days for her rehab after, from drinking. And what does he do? He tries to give her a drink. Now, if you guys recall, this is all started when Mendez was sent home on the European tour because she was drinking out of control every single night. Now, according to reports, Hayes was suspended for 60 days. This is his strike 2. But this is not the only time that Hayes has really been in trouble with the WWE. There were reports that he had to do oral favors when he was called Freebird Hayes, when he was doing over on SmackDown for the creative for a certain female wrestler. Names were never given out, but that was the word. And that is not even the beginning. Another report was he did racial slurs to Mark Henry. And here's the kicker. He did it at Triple H at Stephanie McMahon's wedding.
You would think a guy like Michael Hayes, at his age and his standing in the WWE, would have more common sense than to be doing the crap that he's pulling. It is just unbelievable and unfathomable, to think that, this guy who was so heavily passionate, especially when the WWE released the Triumph and Tragedy of World Clash Championship Wrestling DVD set, would have, more common sense than to try to give someone who was sent home from your European tour because of alcohol a drink. It just baffles me that when we look at this, and Michael P.S. Hayes, who is indeed a legend in this business, we can't deny that, but his activity as of late, it's just really been deplorable.
It has, and according to the same report, he's also been drinking out of control himself. Will, let me ask you. Well, do you think he must have somebody connected very high up if he's able to, use racial slurs to someone in the workplace, not get fired at his own boss's wedding? Use someone for sexual favors, which is another employee, still not get fired, and now this.
Yeah, and I'm going to make a long story short on this one. I mean, this whole thing should have never happened to begin with. I mean, what's in the business stays in the business, but for some, like Billy said, the act was deplorable on Hayes' behalf. I mean, he had to have known that Mendez had an issue with alcohol, and what is in his head, we'll never know. I think he should be suspended for at least a couple months because, it's bad enough that Mendez doesn't know how to control himself, but at the same time, it's like there is no excuse for that at all. And what galls me is like you said, right, he's gotten in trouble before. I mean, is it 3 strikes and you're out? Who knows?
Yeah, obviously there's been a couple of strikes that's been overlooked, so to speak. So, Lance, do you think, before they even let him back, he should definitely get his alcohol in check?
Yeah, that should be a conditional, like, yeah, we'll have you back in the company, but rehab first.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there. While we're still on the WWE beating poll, Bray Wyatt was recently injured. Now, Bray Wyatt had his right calf during a house show in Providence, Rhode Island. According to the reports, it was heavily bruised, and it'll be out of action for a month. Now, apparently, Bray was set to have a pay-per-view match with The Miz at coming up Hell in a Cell. It's now pushed back for the next month at Survivor Series. Guys, I'm sorry, I gotta say this. I call bullshit. He is not injured.
May I ask you, why do you call bullshit?
For one thing, what has he done for the past 2 or 3 months?
Sit in a chair.
Sit in a chair. I'd like to see the videos of how he was injured. Because, before they're going to really start this, this feud with The Miz and the Wyatts, what was big in that match? Zip. Was there even anything announced? No. I think they were going to, and they're like, shit, we can't do it, so, the WWE, with their feuds, they don't like to have matches. They like to have them kind of like taunting each other, in each other's face. Remember the Rock and Cena? How long did they go without touching each other? They can go a month without breaking a sweat. And how does he do it? What does he do? Sitting down. Gee, I hurt my calf. I can't stand up. Well, gee, sitting in that rocking chair is going to do you just fine. Anybody agree with me, disagree with me?
I got to disagree with you. I mean, for one thing, it has been reported, if you're hurt, you can't go. But the thing is, you just can't totally just take 2 people and put them in a pay-per-view match without no backstory to it. When you have a backstory to a match, it really, really helps intensify the match. It gives the match more meaning. Instead of the fans just sitting there and looking at 2 random people thinking, okay, why are these 2 guys fighting each other? Why are these 2 guys wrestling each other? Does one guy hate the other guy? Fans today want a story. They want a build-up for a feud into any pay-per-view match. Now, Bray Wyatt's an unfortunate incident at a house show was indeed an unfortunate timing. It was very bad timing. There's a reason why every wrestling promotion out there that says, don't try this at home. Because even trained athletes, like the wrestlers in WWE, they get hurt. And this is a prime example of somebody getting hurt. Bray Wyatt got hurt. Yes, it was unfortunate timing. But now, Bray Wyatt and Miz, they have a chance to really try to build this up even more into Survivor Series. And I believe that Bray Wyatt has good enough mic skills, and The Miz also has good enough mic skills, because he even mentioned it on tonight's WWE main event, that he has something planned for the Wyatt family. I just wanted to bring that up, other than the fact that, Miz, I fucking hate you for bringing up that Saints comment. But anyway, like I said, I think that, the injury is legit. I believe the injury is legit, or else they wouldn't be pulling what they're pulling. I don't think it's kayfabed. If the guy can't go, then he can't go.
Fair enough. Lance, what do you think? Do you think this is bullshit, or do you think it's just, a coincidence and it's just happened to, shit happened?
Well, I'm a little torn. I think it could be, yeah, but could they also be? Could WWE have also said, "Oh shit, we don't have enough time to build up for this," and just pushed it back a little bit because Survivor Series? Yeah, I'm leaning a little bit toward that.
Okay. Will, over to you. Do you call bullshit, or do you think that this was a legitimate injury?
Well, I'm going to go half and half on this one. The positive half is, like Billy said, trained athletes do get injured.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah.
I'm not doubting that happens. Like I
Yeah.
said, I just think this might have been, maybe they just slid this one in.
Yeah.
But
But the other half is it might be BS because he got injured at a house show. It wasn't Raw.
I mean, how is it different that he get hurt at a house show as opposed to a live television taping or a live TV show? I mean,
because
how can
this
you
is
question
something
legitimacy though if it happens at a house show and not live on TV? It doesn't mean it didn't happen.
Because the thing is, they used in the report that the referee throws up the X. Now, they could say they threw up the X because they knew it only goes on the internet. When you see it on TV, it's a little bit different. Do you know what I'm saying? That X, that referee X means something. They know when that X goes up, shit, somebody's legitimately hurt. You don't fuck with that, right?
When the referee throws up the X, it does mean that someone is legitimately hurt.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what the report said. I still think that sometimes they use that because the internet plays on that. The internet knows that in the WWE. I mean, I could be dead wrong. I could be talking out my ass. I don't deny this. This is just a theory. It's too convenient timing. 2 weeks before the pay-per-view, they're going to have him do a house show, and it didn't even say how he hurt himself. It just said details were sketchy as to how he hurt himself. But there were thousands of people there, and nobody knows how he hurt himself? This guy's been doing crab walks, and they don't know how he hurts his calf? Come on.
Yeah.
It could be a number of contributing factors that might have happened. It might not have been just one solid thing that he might have did.
Okay. All right, like I said, maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm totally wrong. Maybe I'm just seeing it for something totally different. I was playing the devil's advocate. Nothing more. So, okay. Let's move on.
By the way, my apologies, Will, for cutting him off, but I felt like I had to say something.
Oh, well, no, it's fine. I just wanted to finish what I was about to say.
Go ahead.
I'm not denying the fact that, the legitimacy of Bray's injury. It's just sketchy that we don't see it on TV and we're going by the whims of what the reports are saying.
Exactly. And that's what I was saying, because I didn't see it firsthand, and considering how close it was just the timing. That's why I said it was a little sketchy. Like you said, sketchy itself. Doesn't mean that he wasn't legitimately injured or it doesn't happen in other times. But anyways, let's move on to right now. Hulk Hogan is, I guess he got turned down because WWE had to give him what's called a lowball offer. As we all know, Hogan reached out to the WWE in the past couple of weeks because he's now considered a still free agent. But he was offered less money than TNA has offered him. It was described, as I said, a low ball. Sources noted that the Brock and Brock and The Rock make more in one match than Hogan will make in TNA in a year.
No, that was the offer that they gave him. That was the offer that they offered him. They were gonna put him on the low pay. I mean, they said Brock Lesnar and The Rock were going to make more money that year in the WWE than Hulk Hogan. And to me, I don't think that's right. Hulk Hogan revolutionized wrestling in the 80s.
You know what? That's in the 80s. That's 30 years ago, though.
Yeah, but the dude has definitely earned his spot in wrestling. I mean, the dude has earned his name and earned his way. I mean, what has The Rock done as of late? Nothing. What has Brock Lesnar has done as of late? Nothing.
He's done in ring. As much as I hate The Rock, as much as I hate Brock or Lesnar, I hate to say it, those two men have done more in the ring than Hulk has in the past couple of years.
But the thing is, Hulk can't go in the ring anymore.
Exactly. Bingo. You've made my point for me.
You still the man is a legend, a Hall of Famer, and has earned his name.
You know what? Then bring in Bruno Sammartino. See, you might as well bring in,
You can bring in Bruno Sammartino. The thing is, Bruno Sammartino won't want to do it.
But it's not whether he's... Billy, let me make my point. The point is, sooner or later, legends have to step away. Legends, as they get older, their value goes down. It doesn't go up. It goes down. They're not jewelry.
Yeah, but do you deny the fact that Hulk Hogan, with him in his name, is not a big draw for a major wrestling company?
Yes, a draw for a point for certain things. They're not going to be coming there just to see... Do you think people are going to come to WrestleMania just to see Hulk Hogan, or do you think they're going to come there to see the main event match?
Do you think people will go to WrestleMania to see The Undertaker, or do you think they'll go to see the main event match?
Main event match. I think Undertaker's the same thing. My point is, Hulk Hogan is an attraction, not a main event, and he should be paid as such.
If they want to bring him in to draw for WrestleMania 30, I'd say more power to WWE. That would draw a lot of fans to the 30th anniversary of WrestleMania.
But Hulk Hogan wants to be paid as a main event, not as an attraction. That's the thing that nobody's seeing. Hulk Hogan wants to be paid as a main eventer. He's not a main eventer no more. He's an attraction. He's very well paid, a good attraction, a high attraction. But
they could use him as a general manager if they want, because for one thing, Brad Maddox right now is really not selling the fact to me that he's a legitimate general manager in the WWE. If they really want to do something with that and make the general manager role actually legitimate again, and I hate to say it, the only real person that really made that spot legitimate on Monday Night Raw was Eric Bischoff. Because Eric Bischoff was the only one that made that spot legitimate. Stone Cold Steve Austin was a great addition to it, but it really was more like Steve Austin wanted to be there to, wrestle, have fun, and say what he wants, and that's what he always does. But
I know where you're going with Hogan, but Hogan, that's not going to happen either, because Hogan's not going to work as many hours as WWE is going to want them. Let's get the other guys in real quick and going in. Guys, what do you think about the Hogan's lowball offer? Do you think he's worth the money, or do you think he's worth less money? Will?
Okay, is it safe to come out yet?
Yeah, you can come out now.
Alright, well, you both made legitimate arguments about Hogan. Let's not forget the fact that he revolutionized wrestling for the 30 years he's been in the business. We all cannot deny that. He has done a lot. But when you're 58 years old and you've gone through as many surgeries as you have, you can't wrestle. And this is where some of the younger talent need to step up, and no disrespecting any legend in the business. You can't go, you can't go. I mean, it's good to see a legend. You're attracting fans that make the business better. But I have to agree with Rick here. I mean, you're an attraction. I mean, you can't wrestle 30, 35 years. What are you going to do, die in the ring? And I mean, it wouldn't be fair to the legends like San Martino, Hogan, Flair, Terry Funk. List goes on forever. So you both made legitimate arguments here. I'm just saying, legends are attractions. Wrestling will go on, but if you're a legend and you go through so much hurt and injuries, step to the side. Don't put your life at risk for it. Sorry.
Lance, your thoughts?
Well, he is a legitimate legend and innovator, but something we've all said, he's done substantial damage to his name.
Yeah, and that's a valid point. But I mean, I don't deny that Hogan can put asses in seats. I just don't think that what Hogan's looking for, the price-wise, I don't think WWE's ever going to pay. And obviously, even if Hogan does show up, Hogan's looking for longevity. And I think at the end of the day, I think Hogan's going to re-sign with with TNA. I'm sorry. I don't think he's going to go to the WWE just for WrestleMania 30, just for, a little spotlight on him that's going to be there for about 30 seconds.
Hogan money. That's what it is, because of his Linda Hogan pretty much taking him for everything he's got.
Yeah.
Exactly, but if you think about it, WWE's going to give him one check. TNA, if he goes with TNA, how many years do you think he could stay with TNA? A couple of years. And then people are going to be like, oh, well, TNA is going to close in a couple of years. I don't see that happening. I think if they're really smart, you know what I mean? He could probably be with TNA for at least another 2 or 3 years. So. Call me crazy, but... And Hogan's going to drain them for every penny they can.
Not unless Mama Carter has something to say about that.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it depends on what the prices are on the table. I'm sure the prices are probably a little bit less. I'm sure Hogan's not liking it, so...
No, word.
I don't know.
From what I've seen, the offer is to be a little bit higher than what WWE was offering him.
Yeah, it's higher. Right now it's higher than what... Yeah, that's the idea. That's what's on the table. So... Hogan's gonna have to, choose a lesser of two evils, I guess, because he's not gonna want to go to WWE, not unless he's thinking about serious retirement. Let's move on. We have the Mickey James and Magnus are split up. Now, the interesting part is that they were an item, they had no problems, and then all of a sudden, they split up right as Mickey James leaves the company.
Can I say this? Magnus, what in the fuck is wrong with you?
Well, this is what he posted. Only tweeting to prevent rumors and speculations. Mickey James and I are no longer an item anymore. No drama, BS, just different directions. Anybody here happen to notice that was just a coincidence, or is this just me? Guys, chime in.
I've already said my piece. Like, Magnus, what in the fuck is wrong with you? Don't want to separate from Mickey James and her hotness. What the? You know, I would take that. If I had the opportunity, I would go out with Mickey James. I would stay with Mickey James. I would get out on my hands and knees and beg Mickey James to stay. Don't leave me.
Well, I'm wondering if they were just a couple for convenience, so to speak, or maybe friends with benefits, guys. Will, your thoughts?
First of all, I didn't even know they were a couple. As sad as it sounds, I didn't know they were a couple to begin with.
Neither did I.
And the only thing I could say is, if Magnus got that lucky, then one of two things could have happened, gentlemen. It's either one, their careers are adamantly different, in which there is, experience difference, or they feel that one or the other is going on a different path that one cannot follow. So, if that's the case, then yeah, I mean, right now, Mickey James, as far as I know, has been in the business longer than Magnus has. I mean, I could be wrong, but, Mickey James now out of TNA and everything like that, I mean, we can't really say for sure what really caused it, but you guys probably know. I still don't know the whole shit.
Breaking news, Rick. Breaking news. The wheels are on the bus, and they're going round and round.
Well, we're going to bring James in, and then we're going to do the Bound for Glory preview right after we take this quick break. Hey, Hardcore Wrestling Radio fans. Do you feel like you're not getting your weekly fill of HWR each and every Wednesday? Well, hop on over to our Facebook page at facebook.com/Hardcore Wrestling Radio, where we're always posting the latest news, touts, YouTubes, and much more to keep you up to date on what's going on in the WWE, TNA, and the Indies. And of course, we'll also post HWR news, just to keep you up to date. Wouldn't want to leave that out. That address again is facebook.com/Hardcore Wrestling Radio. We'll see you there.
Alright, hello everyone. Will here, back here with Hardcore Wrestling Radio, and we just found somebody off the bus. It is James, my ride-or-die brother from the Big Easy. James, how's the pizza?
I had to kill the gimmick. I learned how to drive now, so unfortunately.
Well, put your car keys down. We're going to catch you up to speed here. What are your thoughts about Michael Hayes' suspension, giving Rosa Mendez a little bit of the booze, the alcohol?
I heard differently, but if you have her, if she just got a rehab and all that stuff, yeah, that's just unprofessional.
Oh yeah, you're right. I mean, professionalism should always be in front of anything. Alright, next is the Bray Wyatt injury. Rick says it's bullshit. Billy says it could be a legitimate thing. Me and Lance were in the middle. Kind of want to know your thoughts about it. Is it legit or is it bullshit?
For me, if people can't bullshit if it's from a live event thing. If he landed awkwardly, I think he has a legitimate injury. I just don't see it as like that serious. But if he's out for like a month, then yeah.
Yeah, well, we don't know the timetable of when he's going to get back, and according to the match that's being pushed back to Survivor Series. All right, next up to catch you up is the Hulk Hogan low balls.
No, he doesn't mean testicles either.
And I'll get it. Well, what are your thoughts about the contract? Did WWE really lowball Hogan? I mean, we know signs are going to go back to TNA, but you think WWE really stiffed him out of that contract?
I just feel like really WWE is only going to use him for Mania. I'm sorry, hold on. I think it's more like a one-term contract thing. It's not like for. Sorry, it's my mom. That's my mom talking. But anyway, I feel like
She's telling you to get the rubber ducky off your pizza.
No, Billy. The rubber duck is right behind you. Anyway, I just feel like he's only good for non-wrestling and just appearances.
As Rick was saying earlier, that Hogan's just an attraction. He revolutionized the business for the 30 years that he did.
And I just don't feel like he worked that much anymore, like he was like in earlier years.
Okay. And your thoughts about Mickie James and Magnus breakup? What are your thoughts about that?
I have not heard about that, but
So basically, you're on the same road as Billy was.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. That was James with the catch up, and now we're gonna pass it back to Rick for our BFG preview. Back to you, Rick.
Thank you, Will. All right, and they have TNA's having their own kickoff show for this year, or their pre-shows, what they're calling it, and it's a gauntlet match between Bad Influence, Joseph Park, and Eric Young, Bromance, Chavo Guerrero, and Hernandez. And what these guys are going to do, whoever wins this will face off against the tag team champions Storm and Gunner. So, guys, what do you think about this pre-show gauntlet match? Who's your picks?
Well, I'm going to say right off the bat, TNA copying WWE, TNA copying WWE, and, TNA's copying WWE.
Also doing a pre-show, you mean?
Yes.
Oh, well, I mean, isn't that what a lot of pay-per-views do? I mean, even, what, if I'm not mistaken, UFC does and Bellator do?
Yeah.
So, who's copying who?
Good point. As far as this match goes, you would think a heel team would probably be the one. If they honestly, if Bromance gets the push towards the tag team title, I'm gonna laugh my fucking head off. I'll tell you that right now. But I want to see. It's very hard to say because you never know which way they're gonna go, and since they're doing so much work with Eric Young and Joseph Parks on their little road trip to Bound for Glory, I would not be surprised to see them getting the win.
All right. Will, your thoughts? Okay, I'm just going to put this on the record right now. Bromance is not going to win. I don't care if you're that Jersey Shore type of person. Bromance is not going to win. So,
yeah, I like Jersey Shore.
Oh, Lord. I actually leaning towards Daniels and Kazarian for them to win. If you noticed what's been happening the last 3 weeks on Impact, this little ego faction that they made and how they've been trying to make a name for themselves and everything. Park and Young, interesting tag team. I don't see it. Chavo and Hernandez, you already had your run. Go away. But what Billy said about Park and Young, makes you think. But I think Bad Influence has this one. I mean, now that they're with Bobby Roode, look for a lot of open gaps to happen. I'll pick Daniels and Kazarian.
All right. James, over to you. What's your pick?
My logical pick is Bad Influence. I mean, the thing about Bad Influence, I feel like they push them more and more with the Eagle Alliance. That's my logical point. The reason why I don't want to say Parks and Young, because they're faces. You need a heel team to face, Storm and Gunner.
Okay. And Lance?
Gotta go Parks and Young.
All right. Well, you know what? I'm with Will, and I'm also with James. I got to go with Bad Influence. They've been kind of getting a really strong push as of late. They've been doing a lot of little funny segments. And, as much as I'm not a big fan of Daniels, he is a phenomenal wrestler. So, I think they got it. Let's kick right over to the tag team match itself. Do our picks have a chance of actually winning the tag team titles? Billy?
What have the tag team champions done as of late?
That's a good question. What's the tag? I think they've just not much. They've just been kind of lackadaisy as late. So, do you think that they're just transitional champions?
It's a possibility that they could be transitional champions. I mean, at one point, even yours truly, the WrestleGamer, forgot who the TNA Tag Team Champions were, because that's how memorable their run is. You immediately forget, who are the Tag Team Champions again? And I was seriously pondering. I'm like, okay, I'm sitting here trying to freak out, like, all right, who are the TNA Tag Team Champions again? And then I realized it was James Storm and Gunner. The pairing was a good pairing. I won't deny them that. But they really haven't done anything at all with the tag teams.
The problem is, if you think about it, that could happen again with our picks. It's not necessarily the team itself, because like you said, they had really great quality. They had that great chemistry, but they didn't do anything with them. So I think even if we had, like I said, bad influence, we'd get the same thing. They'd just be the guys walking around with the titles, because they really didn't even have a lot of matches. I mean, it's just, I think we have the same issue.
I got to disagree on that point, because look what they've been doing as of late.
With the ego.
Yeah, exactly. And I think if they put bad influence in there with Cowboy, James Storm, and Gunner, I want to say there's like a 95% probability factor that they're going to put the titles on Daniels and Kazarian, and to me, they are a much better, in-ring personality. They're better on the microphone. I'm not denying what Cowboy James Storm can do. When's the last time you heard Gunner cut a fucking promo? But I want to say, if they want to bring the tag team titles back into the limelight for TNA, their best bet would probably be Bad Influence.
Yeah, I have to agree with you right there. Will, over to you.
Sorry, repeat that again, Rick. I was distracted.
We were talking about now that we know that we have our picks, can our picks actually beat the current tag team champions, Storm and Gunner?
I believe they can. Like I said, if you watch the last 2-3 impacts of what's been going on, they've been trying to make themselves known and aligning themselves with Bobby Roode. This is that chance. I mean, and then if you guys remember what I said last month in one of our previous shows, that when has Storm and Gunner really defended the belts? And then Storm already acknowledged that, saying that they was at home or backstage and they really didn't have a decent match. Within the last, month and a half, 2 months. So I'm gonna back up that, plus what Storm said in his ring segment, and I think Bad Influence could once again be the champions. I mean, they were an attraction to those belts. So I think that I'll stick to Bad Influence recapturing for the third time as the tag champs.
James, your pick.
I'm with Billy and MVP. It's basically, really, I don't really even, I'm like, wait, this is the tag team title? Huh? Because that's how it is, basically. It's like, you don't see the tag team champions. If you do, maybe like a promo or even a singles match. But this is basically a forgettable reign for those two. I feel like if they give the title to Bad Influence, I think it's a better choice.
And finally, Lance.
I can see them putting them on Young and Parks, because I can see them putting them on a comedy team.
Okay. All right. Well, let's move on. We now have a triple threat knockout title match, which is ODB, Gail Kim, and Brooke.
TNA, you put Lady Tap-Ass in there, you are fucking insane.
Yeah, I have to agree with you.
Yep.
Already, we saw this past Thursday Lady Tappa running right over ODB, who is, of course, right now the current Knockouts champion. And, I mean, she walked right down the ramp. ODB's no heel, didn't get knocked out, didn't get, waiting for her. Tappa walks in the ring, pounds the shit out of her, looks at the camera, and taunts and like, as if, yeah, this is my ring, and walks out. What the fuck are you guys doing over there, TNA? Guys! I mean, I know we're talking right now about this, but this is something I just want to talk about real quick. Does anybody not see something wrong with that?
I saw something very, very wrong with that.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
First. Mine was short to the point. She's copying Tamina. I mean, she may be taller than Tamina, but if you look very carefully on how Tamina is the bodyguard and Lady Tappa is running over people, there's sort of similarity right there. And once again, TNA has copied something from the WWE. They've been taking their notes.
Well, you know what? If I have to, I'm going to disagree with you on that. She is copying somebody, but not Tamina.
Kong.
Awesome Kong. Thank you.
Oh,
Bingo.
No.
They're making another Awesome Kong.
Damn it. Alright, you got me, Rick. You win.
Yeah. Because let's face it, Awesome Kong was probably one of their best knockouts. And they knew when they lost her, they lost probably one of their knockout division went down a few pegs. Would we not agree, Billy?
Well,
we know that all the divisions have gone down a bit.
Yes.
That division has suffered a little bit.
Yeah, for the longest time over on WGS TV, I've always praised the knockouts over the divas. And as of late, the knockouts division has just really, really just went downhill. I mean, it's just unbelievable how far the TNA has let this gone. Because TNA used to have a credible tag team division, a credible X division, and a credible tag team division. You know,
they tag team twice.
Well,
yeah. Well,
knockouts. Then I'm sorry.
Yes. Anyway, let's get to the match real quick, Billy. Who would you be your pick for these three? ODB, Gail Kim, or Brooke?
I gotta say, Gail Kim, I wouldn't be surprised. ODB, more likely. Brooke Tessmacher, what the fuck is TNA thinking?
I actually think Brooke is a talented wrestler.
Well, yeah, but if they break up aces and eights after Bound for Glory, which probably might happen at the pay-per-view, what would be the point of putting the title on her?
That ass.
I think right now she's just a filler.
Exactly, that's my point. And don't mean you're cock either. Why did I just say that?
Well, you said it.
That's
not
a good
me.
question.
Good thing I said it on your show and not mine.
It's all right. Lance, over to you. What's your thoughts?
Well,
Who's your pick?
As much as Billy and I don't want to see this happen, I can see them sticking Tamina Lady Tappa in as a fourth and giving it to her.
So you can see that happening this
If
Thursday?
it doesn't, I can see ODB retaining.
All right. And James, over to you.
Well, I'm the critic of talking about a lot of the divas and knockouts stuff. I feel like with Lady Tappa attacking ODB like that, I think they're gonna do a feud right after Bound for Glory with her and ODB. And I feel like right now they're gonna keep the title on ODB, and then they can have Lady Tappa after ODB. And going back to what Billy said about how the knockout division suffered a whole lot. And I feel like this is Plan B, because remember, at Bound for Glory, original plan was that Taryn Terrell was supposed to win the title.
Yep, and then she got knocked up.
Yeah.
So basically, this is their now Plan B.
All right. And Will, over to you.
Okay. By the way, can I say this? Whoever knocked her up, I want to shake your hand and kick you in the nuts.
Okay, that was fun. I guess I would like to have ODB keep the title, but I lean towards Gail Kim in this one because she's still the pure athletic one of everybody else here. So I'm going to say Gail Kim.
All right. You know what? I got to go with I mean, if it doesn't become a triple threat, I'm going to go with ODB because obviously they're looking to solidify that feud between ODB.
It's already a triple threat.
You meant fatal four-way.
A fatal four-way. Thank you. If they want to solidify some kind of a feud between the Lady Tapa and ODB. I don't think Tapa just ran over her for no reason. So if they make it a fatal four-way this Thursday, then obviously I think Tapa's going to win, unfortunately. So
that would be one of TNA's biggest fuck-up since they signed Tito Ortiz in TNA.
Yeah, pretty much. But let's move along. We have the Ultimate X title match, which is 5 guys, and this match on the paper looks really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
But if you really think about it, there's been no real build-up for it. And it's just kind of like, you got Manic, who's like, a lightweight, and all these other guys are like, former world champions, and they're fighting for the X division. You know what I mean?
Yes, but the Ultimate X has always delivered when advertised. Even with no build-up, the Ultimate X match has always been a show-stealing match, no matter who was in it. And I gotta say, I am 100% looking forward to the Ultimate X match, and I might even buy Bound for Glory just to see the Ultimate X match with Jeff Hardy, Manic, Chris Sabin, Austin Aries, and Samoa Joe. That match is going to be kick-ass, like I said, if not, probably match of the night, the show stealer for Bound for Glory.
That could be very well. Since we were talking about who's your pick.
Wow, it's really a toss-up, it's really a toss-up of coin because you got your current champion, Manic, who's really good, Jeff Hardy, who's never been a champion, Aries, who's a former X Division champion, Sabin, former X Division champion, and Samoa Joe, former X Division champion. And really, the only person that's to never hold the X Division title is Jeff Hardy. And if TNA really wants to pander to Jeff Hardy, and I'm not saying that in a mean or negative facet or fashion for Jeff Hardy, but more than likelihood they'll do one or two things. One, they'll keep it on Manic, or they might put it on Jeff Hardy. But there are so many different aspects to it. I mean, you can also look at Sabin getting the X Division title back and going heel, continuing his heel trend as an X Division heel champion. It's a possibility of that happening. Aries would be great with the X Division title. We've seen what he's done in the past. But more than likely, if like I said, there are two options. There's one route for me would be for them to keep the title on Manic, or two, if they really want to solidify Jeff Hardy's status in TNA, they'll probably put the title on him.
I'll agree with you on that. I wouldn't be surprised if they do give Hardy, because like you said, everyone in that, in this match is an X Division title, but Hardy. And I think for Hardy to win that, they'd give it to him. And of course, that'd be like his quote-unquote, TNA's money in the bank as well. He could also cash that in or turn that in for a world title shot.
Yeah, so I got to say, really, my head says Jeff Hardy, my heart says Manic, and my dick says, what the fuck?
Why you brought your dick in, I don't know, but you can just keep it on your side of the show.
I will.
Okay. James, over to you. Who's your pick?
Cough medicine.
Huh?
Damn you, cough medicine.
Okay.
For me, I feel like this is really hard, really, because these are 5 great competitors that can fight that can win the title. But I think the logical thing, I think they may give it to Jeff Hardy. I'm gonna pick Jeff Hardy.
James, are you robbing a car right now?
No, that was his bus backing out.
No. Oh, I am actually parking far up my car.
Anyway, sorry. Moving on. Will, over to you.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to calm down. That was funny. I like Manic, but I sense new champion. I can actually see Jeff Hardy with the belt. I mean, this will be his first ever Ultimate X match, and I'm glad that TNA finally brought back the no limit format that they did for the X division. So I say Jeff Hardy, new champion. Not to take it away from Manic. Manic's a great star, but as dangerous as Hardy is, I could actually see him as the new champion.
All right, Lance, finally over to you.
Well, even though he was not in the company at the time of the birth of this match seems to be tailor-made for Jeff Hardy.
Yeah,
just his style.
Absolutely. No doubt. Especially with all the TLC matches that he did over in the WWE, like you said, this is tailor-made for him. But let's move on to the next match, which is Sting versus Magnus. Now, this is supposed to be, like the passing of the torch. If you can, they even use the Ric Flair Sting, area. And I don't think I would not put Sting and Magnus next to Sting and Flair, Billy. Would you?
Sting and Magnus, two really high up names, in TNA. Sting, really getting up there in age. Magnus is a really good athlete, really good guy in the company. He's got a long way to go, and he's got a bright future in. If it's not just TNA, he's got a bright future in the wrestling industry in itself. People should look at this as a passing the torch match, a la Ric Flair and Sting from back in the Great American Bash, July 1990, when Sting became the WCW World Heavyweight Champion by beating Ric Flair. They should look at it. Even though a title is not on the line, doesn't really produce the significance of this match. Sting. I want to say if Sting wanted to pass the torch to somebody, he chose a really good person to pass the torch to in the form of Magnus. Magnus has a bright future, and despite who will go over, to me, honestly, it doesn't really matter. Just look for a really good, solid match with Sting and Magnus.
Okay. Now, last week, it kind of looked as if they were kind of, there was a little bit of an issue between them in their tag team match. Do you possibly see a heel turn with Magnus coming at the end of this pay-per-view, or at the end of their match somehow?
It's possible. If they want to turn Magnus heel, they had the doorway to do it with Sting. Have him turn against not only Sting, but have him turn against the Main Event Mafia. And it's a very likely situation that it could happen. But on the other hand, Magnus could be, they could be playing him as a guy that's just really frustrated. He's really, at his wit's end, especially with the situation he's been having with Ego as of late. So I really, like I said, the doorway to it is there. The option is there for them to do it. It's all a matter if TNA is willing to do it. We've been saying for the longest time, when is WWE gonna have Ricardo turn on Rob Van Dam? We thought he were gonna do it at the last pay-per-view. We thought they were gonna do it at Night of Champions. They never did it. But like I said, TNA has the opportunity. They have the opportunity to turn Magnus heel if they choose to. But that's the big factor. Will they have him do it?
Okay. Who's your pick for the win for this match?
It's really, really a toss-up because both guys, it all depends on how good the finish is going to be. If they turn Magnus heel and they have him turn against Sting, I want to say they would probably have Magnus go over on Sting with maybe some interference from maybe Ego. I wouldn't put it past them to, if they want to turn Magnus heel, they would put him with the Extraordinary Gentlemen's Organization, because that would be right now, believe it or not, to me, that's the bigger heel faction right now in TNA than the Aces and Eights. Aces and Eights is a dying gimmick. It's a dying gimmick, and it will fully die at Bound for Glory. But then again, that's just my opinion about it. But You know, if they want to keep it straight face on face, I want to say possibly they might put Sting over. There's a likelihood that they could put Sting over and still make Magnus look strong. You know, there is a way to do it. I'm not sure, you know, what that way is, but I'm pretty sure that, you know, giving Sting's, you know, vast knowledge of the industry and the fact that, you know, if they let him run the match, you know, if they let him carry the match and not let Dixie Carter and the Carter family fuck it up like they've done with the rest of TNA, then I gotta say, you know, there is a good way to end it. You know, it really doesn't come to mind right now what I think what the match could be, you know, or the finish could be. But go ahead.
So it's basically a coin toss. Okay?
Yeah, it's
50-50.
Yeah, it's a 50-50. But like I said, you know, expect a good, solid match between the two guys.
All right. Will, your thoughts?
Well,
okay. I'm sorry. Question again?
Who's your pick in Sting versus Magnus? You know, do you think Magnus could possibly turn heel in this, or do you think this is gonna be a straight up fight?
All right. Okay. Well, I was paying attention to what Billy was saying. You know, I mean, a possible heel turn may be in the works. I mean, Magnus has been frustrated for what 3-4 impacts now, maybe more. But I would like for Magnus to win this match. But if a heel turn does loom, I would not be surprised. I mean, we can make the case for the last 3-4 impacts we've watched and the late frustrations, and he tried to prove himself fighting on his own without members of the Mafia, you know, no Joe, no Sting, you know, doing his solo hype, but, you know, especially when Sting said, I'll put you on the map, you know, but I would love for Magnus to upset Sting and, you know, keep this faction intact, but if we see a heel turn, we blame Billy.
Sounds like a good idea to me. James, your thoughts?
I could see a heel turn, but at the same time, it's gotta. I feel like this would be more passing of the torch. I think Magnus is gonna win. Cause I think what I see is that this could be the end of Sting in TNA. I mean, I don't see him going to WWE, but I see like this is maybe like his time coming down to dwindle down in TNA. I think he just got passed the torch to Magnus, and then Magnus and whatever.
All right. And finally, Lance, what are you?
I just don't see Magnus going over.
All right,
Short
so
and
you
sweet
pick
to the
Sting.
point.
There you go. All right, well, we have we're going to move on to the Bobby Roode versus Kurt Angle match. So this match kind of came up all of a sudden. This came up last week, where Bobby Roode was kind of doing when he got into the Eagle Hall of Fame, which was a kind of a funny skit. Kurt Angle comes running out. We thought he was just going to be at Bound for Glory. Now he injects himself into the actual Bound for Glory pay-per-view, and where they're doing a match for Bobby Roode versus Kurt Angle. I think this is just going to be no whims about it. I think Kurt Angle's going to win. Billy, your thoughts?
I gotta agree with you on that one, but like I said, Bound for Glory is really, really looking to be a good, strong card for TNA. You know, and when's the last time you've heard anyone say that TNA's got a good, strong card for any of their pay-per-views or any of their shows? I mean, look what we got on tap already. You know, your Ultimate X match, you got a tag team match, you got a gauntlet match, and now you got Kurt Angle and Bobby Roode, which will guarantee to be a really, really good match. You know, it probably won't be as a show stealer, but it'll probably be another good, solid match on Bound for Glory. But look for Kurt Angle to be the one to go over.
Yeah. James, your thoughts?
I mean, this one. I feel like this was tight. This match was going to be made. I've seen this match possibly being made a few weeks ago. When Bobby Roode beat Magnus in that gauntlet match, and he used the ankle lock on Magnus to win. And I think because of this, I think Kurt Angle is going to win this match.
All right. Will, over to you.
As much as Bobby Roode and his little flashy ego goes about, I gotta say Kurt Angle. I mean, look for Kurt Angle to have a big redemption in this match. So chalk it up to Angle.
All right, Lance, your thoughts.
Well, I don't mean to beat a dead horse or nothing, but with the recent events in Kurt Angle's recent past, he has to win this.
Yeah, well, I mean, I definitely think with his comeback, I think he's going to win.
Yeah.
So,
or
I think we can.
Or he's going to win by a submission or disqualification from Ego jumping him.
That's a possibility. We didn't think about that. Let's get on to the main event. Now, this main event, for me, the build-up has been very, very lackluster.
What?
Yeah, very lackluster. Now, you can sit there and say, what? Who has AJ Styles been focusing on? Dixie. Dixie has been focusing on Hogan. This thing should have been building and building and building and building and building. They've had a year to build the story. They've actually had, since the Bound for Glory series started, to build this. And they've really not been in each other's face.
You can't build something before the Bound for Glory series starts. And Ray.
And how long is the Bound for Glory series been? Almost 2 months? You gonna tell me they don't have 2 months to build a feud? Come on now.
I don't know. I disagree. I mean, I think the build-up's actually been quite good.
I disagree with you. I think it's been blah. And I'm sorry, this whole card itself, on a scale from 1 to 5, 5 being the top, is about a 2.5 for me.
What?
Yes, it's just the way everything's been built up. I mean, it's like they have ODB, Gail Kim, and Brooke, and then the same week they have, Lady Tappa attack her. What's that have to do with this match? How's that building up this match? They bring in the Bobby Roode and Kurt Angle, and they start that 10 days before, so that's not really built up, and yet that somehow gets more hype than the AJ Styles and Bully Ray. The Sting and Magnus thing, that's been kind of like boiling a little bit because they've been like talking out back about the problems and the frustrations, so you knew that eventually was going to be started some kind of a match. Every match, every card has had a little bit more or less, kind of a build than the main event. What's that say about the main event? About their faith in the main event? Because why they've been focusing on? Hogan.
They haven't been focusing on Hogan. Dixie's been focusing on AJ. Wanting AJ out of the company, and she's even tried to buy out AJ's contract or buy out AJ's last appearances. She doesn't want AJ Styles in the company. She wants AJ Styles out. She doesn't even want AJ to be the World Heavyweight Champion, which kind of leads me to believe that AJ Styles is going to be the one that gets the World Heavyweight Championship.
We've been saying that for a year now.
Yeah.
That's given.
It's given. Yeah, it's been given. Fact that for over a year that we kind of figured at the next Bound for Glory they're going to put the title on AJ, but they really couldn't build anything significant on that until after the Bound for Glory series, because if they start promoting the fact that it's going to be AJ Styles and whoever the champion is at Bound for Glory 2013. Then the fans will look at it and say that why the fuck are you having the Bound for Glory series then?
No, I get that, but the point though is, even up to where he won it, it's been still a few weeks. They still could have done, a couple of things in between. What he could have done is have issues where she wanted him out of the, They could have worked out some other issues, and they just did. Just the way that it was done, it was just like, Maybe it was just, I don't know. The problem is that at these couple, the past couple of weeks, they shouldn't be focusing on her. He needs to be focusing on Bully.
He has. Have you forgotten what's going on? I mean,
he got beaten by a chain last week.
Yeah, then the week before, he ran in on Bully Ray and beat him up, on the outside of the ring. Did you forget that happened?
Yeah, it's one segment. Usually when people are feuding, Go over and look at the WWE. How many times when Daniel Bryan and Randy Orton, how many times do they see each other, a feud, like in segments?
But here's the thing, though. TNA is not WWE.
And that's part of their problem.
Yeah, but what works for one company doesn't necessarily mean it'll work for all companies.
Now you're just making... Okay, you know what? Let's bring all the guys in. Guys, do you think I'm wrong? Do you think this... What do you guys think of this pay-per-view? Do you think this pay-per-view is a little lackluster, or am I just talking shit out my ass? James, I'm going to bring it cut over to you.
Well, really for me, it's like, I kind of got, I'm into the storyline, but it's just Dixie Carter's promos suck ass.
Thank you.
Up on the Dixie train.
Exactly.
No, I'm jumping off it.
Yeah, throw me from the train.
It kicked me out.
I'll jump in front of it, please.
Well, that explains why the son of a bitch Andy isn't here this week. He's in the caboose.
All right. Anyway, but I mean, the storyline. I like the storyline with Boy and but it's just Dixie Carter. Just her, sucks as a character, as a heel character. She doesn't have that McMahon style character. Oh, she's just this evil boss and blah, blah. I mean, we've seen her a lot before in WWE, but they do it better than her.
Okay. Will, what are your thoughts? Do you how do you feel that this pay-per-view has been shaping up?
2.5. The Dixie train's gonna derail. AJ wins. Hogan last. I'm going home.
Thank you very much. Short and sweet. That's how we like it here on HWR. Lance, over to you.
Well, basically, well, to me, the main event storyline was. Now, I like a good complicated storyline, but this was Godfather 2 complicated.
Okay. Now, who's your pick? Who's your pick for the man? AJ. Okay, so I don't think we even really need to go around the table.
I kind of have a little thing about this match. I kind of see a little something.
Okay, go ahead.
I see Dixie Carter making this match a no disqualification match. And then Bully Ray's going to have the Aces and Eights come out. But the Aces and Eights does come out, but they don't help Bully Ray. They just leave Bully high and dry, and then AJ wins the vote. And then runs into the fans like CM Punk did.
All right. Well, like I said, right now it's on paper. It looks like it's okay. It does look like it has promise because some of these matches are very good. Like I said, I don't deny it, really. The Ultimate X match looks good. The main event does look good. It's just the way it's been building up. And the Snake Magnus match, yeah, that's the one that I think has had really the most build if you really look over the past couple of months. Bobby Roode, Kurt Angle, that's just technically going to be a good match, hands down.
It sells itself, to be honest.
Yes, and I agree with you. It does. I think the tag team gauntlet match mixed in with the tag team championship match. Hopefully that'll just get. I'm just hoping it will get the tag team division back on its ass. That's just my thoughts. But that's it. All we can do is wait and see, guys. I think that's going to wrap up for this edition of Hardcore Wrestling Radio. Billy, where can everyone find you at?
They can find me at youtube.com/WrestleGamer, where I'm going to be closing in on the last of BioShock Infinite. And, of course, with any completion of any gameplay on WGS TV, we'll feature a review of the game when everything is done.
He's over at Lance Moss TV. Lance, what do you do over at Lance Moss TV?
A little bit of wrestling reviews, album reviews, NASCAR reviews, cooking videos, Q&A, and whatever else pops into my head.
And Will, thanks for coming on. Where can people find you?
You can find me in the back of James's backyard beating his ass. No, I'm just playing.
Make sure you cam that shit so we can put it on YouTube.
I'll be around HWR, of course, bringing up your weekly heels of the day. And for those who probably didn't look, today's heels of the week is none other than the Wyatt family. If you guys got any thoughts, let us know. Post your comment, like, anything, and we'll post it up to your heart's desires. And if you put Fandango, we'll kill you.
Will's gonna kill you. No, I'm sorry, that's Joe.
Will's gonna kill you.
Oh, and shit, I think we started something.
Uh-oh.
James, where can people find you at?
They gotta find me on the same thing, the Hardcore Wrestling page. And I'm gonna do this next week. I am actually gonna start. I'm gonna take everything with the divas of the day, divas or knockouts or any women's wrestler of the day.
All right, awesome. And of course, the Facebook page that they're talking about, you can find that over at facebook.com/Hardcore Wrestling Radio. And anytime you want to listen to our shows, make sure you head us over to Spreaker.com/HWR Media. And if you want to listen to any of our past shows, head on over to our YouTube page. That's youtube.com/HWR Show. So for everyone here, I'm the Shining Star Rick Star saying, see you when we see you.
Tonight's episode of Hardcore Wrestling Radio has been brought to you by James and Big Easy's brand new charity, Chair Shots for Rubber Duckies.
And Dixie Carter tickets 2 for 1. Lance, I got your ticket.
Thank you for listening to this edition of Hardcore Wrestling Radio. Be sure to follow us on our pages, facebook.com/Hardcore Wrestling Radio and Spreaker.com/HWR Media, and also on youtube.com/HWR Show. Until the next time, this is Rick Starr saying, see you when we see you.